friends, welcome to Kate's Kingdom. My name is Kate, and today we're going to talk about some awkward Disney dates. So, yes, early on in my Disney career, I was single. So I went on a couple dates, and not all of them were great. Sometimes these were guys that I met on OkCupid, sometimes these were guys I met at work, or sometimes these people through mutual friends, but not every time was super great. This isn't to call anyone out specifically, I'm just talking about some awkward things that happen sometimes when you date at Disney. I'm gonna try to keep things as anonymous as possible, just because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. If you want to see more videos like this where I share dating stories or things that happened to me at Disney, please give this video a like so I know, so I can make more of them. Let's get started. So the first one I'm going to talk about I call the Fantasmic fail. So it's 2013. Before Tinder, OkCupid was really big on my college campus, so then when I moved down to Florida, I was also using OkCupid. I ended up stumbling across this guy on there, and we ended up chatting, and he worked at Hollywood Studios. We ended up chatting, and he was like, hey, do you want to go see Fantasmic? Sure, I'm down for Fantasmic. And that's simple because you go, you hang out, maybe ride a ride, Fantasmic, and leave. So there's a beginning point and an end point if it gets awkward. So we meet up, we're both kind of nervous. It's all fine, it's all great. So he suggests that we go on Rock and Roller Coaster. He's like, I have a friend that works there, we can get through FastPass. Awesome, great. So we go to FastPass, and all of a sudden, he starts introducing me to everyone, like, oh, this is Kate, that girl I was telling you about. And they're like, oh, we're so glad to finally meet you. And I was like, what? I found out later that he had told the people that he worked with that I was his girlfriend and that we had been dating. So he had been using me, like, oh man, I was like, I've been seeing this girl, even though it was just our first date, just to get clout, or maybe just to make himself feel better. I don't really know, but it was kind of, I was just like, a little awkward. We go to Fantasmic. Once again, he knows someone, introduces me again, and we sit down and we just have nothing to talk about. Because the thing about Fantasmic is if you want good seats and you get there pretty early, you're gonna be sitting for 30 minutes. I realized it is hard to talk to someone who you don't have much in common with for 30 minutes. And I felt so bad. And both of us were just kind of awkward and trying to make conversation, and I'd ask him a question, I'd get a one-word answer, and then he'd ask me one, I tried to include him back, and then it just wouldn't, we weren't connecting. And I was like, we are not even through Fantasmic yet. What is gonna happen? We end up doing Fantasmic, and then we leave, and then I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna go get the CP bus, have a good life, bye. And then never talk to him again. Hope he's doing okay though. So the next story is all about wishes, and I cringe when I think about it. I'm just like, oh god, okay. Early on in one of my programs, we were hanging out with a group of friends, and there was this guy who was flirting with me. He at one point had said, if you want to cry on my shoulder for wishes, you can. And I was like, awesome, oh, okay. So then we were talking a little bit, through the first couple weeks of our program, and then he asked me out and to go on Magic Kingdom. Awesome. What I found out that he actually said to someone was, I can't wait to get this date over with so that I can have a girlfriend. So this was gonna be our first date. We hadn't been really even talking like that, and I think he just wanted a girlfriend, and just whoever, and I was just the person that was gonna go on a date with him. I was like, no, I'm good. Let's just hang out as friends in a group. And that was kind of the end of that one. I mean, I wish him well. I hope everything's going well for him. The next one happened at the Animal Kingdom Lodge at Boma. So basically there was this kid, and we kind of were talking before our program, and then we came down, and this was our first time hanging out. Was going to Boma for breakfast. So I wore a new dress that I had gotten that was a little tight. So not great, not my best option. It was so tight in the stomach area, I couldn't really eat without my stomach expanding, and it made it way too tight, and I started feeling sick. So it wasn't good going to a buffet for breakfast. So we get there and we're not talking. We're just not, we can't find conversation. I am not eating at this point because I am so nervous, and also I am so my dress is too small, and I'm just like, oh god, oh god. He was like, that's it? He was kind of upset that I only got a plate and cereal, but it was a full plate that I ate, but he was upset that I didn't eat more, and that kind of spoiled the whole date. And then we went back, He dropped me off, and yeah, we didn't hang out again. So there was this guy. I had known him for a few years at this point. We were friendly. We had some mutual friends. We had chatted with each other a little bit, like nothing crazy. And then all of a sudden, things started taking a turn. He started flirting with me and all of this stuff. We ended up hanging out a few times, and I was like, wow, like this kid's so nice. He's like cute and handsome. Oh yeah, did you know that he had a girlfriend? Because I found out afterwards that he also had a girlfriend, and I was becoming his side piece. Yep, didn't like that at all. Yeah, that didn't go well. I had to find out through a friend being like, oh, don't you know his girlfriend Sarah? And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Anyways, they ended up getting engaged, so hope he wasn't doing that to anyone else. Another Hollywood Studios date. I should know at this point that Hollywood Studios dates shouldn't happen in my life. Like I just don't have good juju there. So there was this kid, we worked together, we got along really well, and we thought, let's spend the day at Hollywood Studio. So we were kind of walking around, didn't really know what to do. I was like, let's do this, and he was like, no. And then I was like, let's do this, and he was like, no. We were just kind of walking around awkwardly, and I was like, oh god. And this was also before I had to go to work, so it was like timed, which was kind of nice because then you had like a way to be like, okay, like I have to get the bus now. So anyways, the one thing that he decides that he wants to do is the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids playground. He's like, I've never done this, like let's go over here and hang out. So we hung out in the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids area. And it wasn't like oh, like let's be like cutesy and like go down the slide and then like move on. It was like, no, like let's hang out here. And we hung out there for like a half hour. And then he wanted me to go home with him afterwards, and I was like, nope, I have work, bye. And so my last story is about a date that I went on at Hollywood Studios again. Once again, I probably shouldn't go to Hollywood Studios on dates. It was this kid that I was friends with on Tumblr, and it wasn't really a date, it was just a hangout. So I walk up and be like, hey, and he's like, okay, let's go, and started like fast walking, and I'm like struggling to keep up. So we went on some rides, and then we went to Sanaa and got bread service, and we talked for like 3 hours, and then he dropped me off at home, and now he's my boyfriend. So like, not all awkward Disney dates are bad, you know, sometimes they work out. Thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to share some fun stories today, just because I'd been thinking about them, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I went on those dates. So in the comments down below, please let me know your dream Disney date. Where would you love to be taken on a date at Disney World? I loved Victoria and Albert's when I went, so I guess I'd put Victoria and Albert's as the place I'd love to go again. Where would you like to go? Alright friends, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you loved it, hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you all super duper soon. Have a great day, friends. Bye!